2019, you're what? You're 21. You're turning 21, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which we never took that Miami trip. Maybe one day.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously 2019, the World Cup ended up being the biggest tournament in the history of women's soccer. You were on that team. What for you stands out about that tournament?
Ooh, that tournament, I mean,
Heavy question.
yeah. I feel like that tournament was very leading up to it. The whole thing, first of all,
Okay.
the whole thing was like, it was fun. It was so fun. Like looking back at like Tottenham,
I
like
know.
I want to go back to the lodge. Like I dream about that place. I was like, can I quarantine there? Like
Exactly.
I will be completely fine. But I feel like, yeah, the World Cup was definitely emotionally draining.
Yes.
And I just remember like everyone that went through it in 2015. Obviously, like everyone's experience was different, but like I remember like everyone who went through 2015 was saying like, yeah, like World Cups and Olympics, like they're like very emotionally draining on you. And I feel like a lot of people like don't, from the outside looking in, they don't see that it is like you're away from your family. What, we were on the road for like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, it was just like, it was something I've never obviously been a part of. It's not like a youth World Cup whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's intense, and sometimes like you can feel so alone, and then there's other times when you don't feel alone. And it can get hard too, because it's like you're doing the same thing every single day, but you know that if you keep doing that every single day for 10 weeks, like it's going to pay off at the end. And I don't know, I just, each game, obviously, I was actually talking to Dansby about this the other day. I was like, I want to go, like, I want to just be able to like compete in like that environment again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like the Thailand game obviously was so much fun. I feel like every game like told a different story for sure.
Definitely.
I think for me personally, the Thailand game was so much fun. I think the France game was so much fun. Like so much fun. Even though I didn't play, like I still like, just to be able to be a part of like a group like that and just see everyone like kill it. And I remember, it gets me fired up. Like I just remember like people at the beginning, they were like, the US is going to lose in the quarterfinals. And I'm like, oh, it just makes me so angry. I'm like, no, we are not. Like, no. Like, yeah, we were in Paris, in like quarterfinals playing France. Like, what a game that was. It was so, it was stressful. Don't like really talking about it, but it gets me fired up. I don't know. I feel like also every game was like pretty stressful. I'm sure you definitely felt that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for the World Cup, to describe it, it's a roller coaster of emotions. You're happy, you're sad, you are frustrated, you are on top of the world, it's a roller coaster. But I think the beauty of it all is like, especially last World Cup, is I got to be a part of like a group that I think changed women's sports and like changed like so many people's views on what women in sports and what women football players are like capable of. Like it really, I think that's like the biggest part. Like, yeah, we won, but like we were able to change and like create this like movement, just like how the 99ers did. Like
Yeah.
they really started, the way I like look at it is like the 99ers, they started and kicked off soccer in America. I feel like with us winning, like we started like a whole nother kind of narrative about women's football around the world.
You're gonna make me cry.
I know.
It's so cool to hear you talk about it this way because you're just getting started too. Like do you realize you're gonna be the one to carry the torch for,
Ugh.
10 plus years?
Yeah, I don't know. It's that, I don't know, that World Cup, it was, and then obviously like afterwards too, that was so much fun.
So much fun.
But I think I like saw a video the other day too of like after we won, and just like seeing everyone's like emotions afterwards, like everyone's was like a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like I feel like overall everyone was just like, thank goodness it's over and we won.
Right? There's like this huge piece of relief to it.
Yeah. And I feel like too, it like everyone had their own, it was so cool. It was like everyone had their own like story and journey throughout that World Cup, but it was all a part of one.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool to look at too. I don't know.
What do you think that you will take from that? Like, what did you take from that, and how is that fueling you now and for the future?
I mean, I feel like just seeing and actually being in that environment and what it takes. Like, obviously, like you guys, the veteran players, have like been through multiple major tournaments, and to like the lead up to the World Cup, I'm like, okay, like that's what it takes, but like it's gonna take even more.
Yeah.
Like, holy, oh my goodness, like the lead up, that I've never been like so intense with anything in my life.
With the preparation.
And then, preparation. I think the way, I don't know, I feel like I'm like also hopefully like very excited for like tournaments and stuff in the future, of just like how I'm gonna handle like adversity, because I do feel like over the past year, like I have grown so much.
I was just gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, like especially the past, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, like I've grown a lot, and I've learned a lot about myself, and like, again, like what makes me tick and what doesn't work for me, and like how I can handle certain situations. Like I've learned a lot about, and I've like worked on that. So I don't know, I'm just like excited just to see how the future, like what it kind of holds for me, and how I'm going to approach things, because I do feel like it's going to be different than what I have the past like couple of years.
Definitely.
So,
and because I mean, you basically played like I think you played a lot in 2016.
Yeah.
In the Olympics. And then 2019, knowing you, I know you didn't play as much as you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you handled it in a way that was like, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, and take this with me, because I feel like I told you this, you have so much ahead of you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can even be a part of this, and maybe it's not the exact experience that you wanted. And like, I felt that in my career, but then if you're able to learn, which you clearly, just by talking now, have been able to, like, because that's just the type of person you are, that's the type of player you are, type of teammate you are, which very proud of you for that.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like I remember maybe telling you, and I don't know, telling Lindsay too. I was like, obviously I wish I would have played more. Who doesn't want to play more?
Exactly.
But the way I looked at it, and I like started to look at it more and more, was like, okay, I get to go to training every day, and with the forwards, I'm training with Tobin, Pino, Alex, Carly, like Press, Jess, like all, like I was training with them.
Yeah.
And I was competing against them. And I'm like, what an opportunity to, one, compete against these players that have been going at it for so many years and have been through multiple World Cups and have been doing this and at a very high level for a very long time. Like, that's like such a cool opportunity to take in and learn from them.
Yeah.
But also like continue to know who you are personally and compete with them. So yeah, I feel like I definitely had to like change my mindset and like look at it like a different way.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I was like, okay, like I'm back like on track, like I'm good.
I feel like everybody who goes to a World Cup and then maybe doesn't play as much as they want to, like you have this moment or like a day, like 24 hours, 48 hours of like, this sucks and I'm so upset. And like we obviously have seen other teammates go through it. But then once you realize, once you figure out what can I take from this, what can I make this experience be?
Yeah.
It's pretty, and not everyone gets there, I don't think. So again, props to you.
And I think at that time, like it wasn't like obviously like wanted to play more, but like it wasn't my time to.
Yeah.
Like, and I realized like my role was to be, obviously, I feel like everyone's role, no matter who you are, is to be a good teammate. Like you have to be a good teammate. But also I'm like, okay, like how am I going to be a good teammate and how am I going to be able to be the best version of myself to be able to be that teammate for my team and
I love that.
make us win.
Yeah.
Or help us win.
It's that, and like I said, not everybody gets there, and I think that's what's special about this team because I do think that most people, almost I think everybody gets to a place where it's team before self,
for sure,
which is really special, and it doesn't always happen.